Student, today's topic is federalism. Now, federalism means a system of government in which the power is divided between the central authority and its units. Here, units means different provincial units, okay, or different provincial government. So, in a federal country, always we will find there are two levels of government. One is state, and another is national government. Now, in this slide, we will discuss about the features of federalism. First point, that is there should be two or more level of government. So from the definitions, only we had concluded that in a federal country there is one central government for the whole country and different state government for its different units. Next point is that different types of government govern the same citizens. Okay, that means uh, both the state government and the central government have the jurisdictions to make laws for its citizens. Okay, now third point is that jurisdictions of the tiers of government are specified in the constitution. It means that the, each tiers of government have their own duties which are clearly mentioned in the constitution. Fourth point is that fundamental provisions of the constitutions cannot be unilaterally changed by one level of government. That means what? The changes in the fundamental provisions of the constitution requires the consent of both the level of government. Now in this slide we will discuss that why we can say that India is a federal country. Okay, or what's the reason that India that people will say that India is a federal country. Actually, in the picture you are noticing that here it is mentioned about three lists: union list, concurrent list, and state list. Okay, under union list, central government has the power to make laws on these following items: that is defense, banking, currency, foreign affairs, and communications. Okay, now state government have the jurisdictions over the state list, means they have the power to make laws. Now under state list comes the police, trade, agriculture, and irrigation. Now the concurrent list means union of state government and central government. There you just see education, forest, trade, marriage, adoptions, and succession. All these following under the concurrent list. That means both central and state government jointly make laws on this subject. Next thing is that India is a federal country because there are two levels of government. One is central government and another is the state government. So these are the two reasons. First, the three lists, and next, the two levels of government. Now in this slide, we will discuss how is federalism practiced in India. Now federalism is practiced in India through linguistic state, language policy, and central state relations. Now here we will discuss about the linguistic state. Now linguistic state, it generally means that each state was created, um, means to ensure that the people who spoke the same language should live in the same state. That means each state was created on the basis of language, except few states were there, that is Nagaland, Uttarakhand, and Jharkhand, which are formed on the basis of culture, ethnicity, and its geographical features. So linguistic statements, the state were formed on the basis of language to ensure that the people who spoke the same language or speak the same language should live in the same state. Now here in this slide we will discuss about the language policy. Now you just keep it in mind that Indian constitutions did not give the status of national language to any of the language. Hindi and English are considered as the official language of the Indian government, and beside Hindi and English, regional language are also recognized as scheduled language by the Indian constitution. So, for the Indian Parliament, Hindi and English are the official language, and for each state, their own regional language is the official language beside Hindi and English. Now here in this slide we'll discuss about the center-state relations. Actually, center-state relations generally implies on the coalition's government. After 1990, such trend had been noticed. In I'm just telling it in precise way. Suppose if no party had got a clear majority in Lok Sabha, okay, any of the major party had not gained any clear majority in Lok Sabha, the major political parties had to enter into an alliance with many parties, okay, which may include several state parties also. So for this what happened, a good relations had been also created between the central political parties, major political parties with different regional political parties. So coalitions politics is also one of the important factors for strengthening our federal structure. Now in this slide we will know the difference between coming together and holding together federations. In coming together federations, independent states come together on their own to form a bigger unit. Okay. But in holding together, a large country decides to divide its power between constituent state and national government. Say for example India. Okay. In coming together federations, actually uh, there can be an increase their security by pooling sovereignty and retaining identity. Okay, means independent state has their own identity, but in case of holding together, central government tends to be more powerful. Actually, in this case, the residual power belongs to the state under coming together federations. Under coming together federations, they can increase their security. That means the province can increase their security by pooling sovereignty and retaining identity. That means the means the states enjoy the residual power, but in case of holding together federations, central government tends to be much more powerful. Now example for coming together, it is USA, Switzerland and Australia, and holding together it is India, Spain and Belgium. Now in this slide we will know about decentralizations in India. Generally decentralizations means when the power is not centralized in the hand of any particular authority, it is redistributed. Similarly, decentralizations in India generally implies uh, the importance of local government. That means when power from the state government is distributed to the local government. Now here in India we find generally two types of local government, that is urban local government and rural local government. Urban local government means nagar panchayat. That means it is just the transition phase from panchayat, it is moving towards township areas. Okay, so that's we called as nagar panchayat. Then comes the municipal council or municipality for small town, and municipal corporations generally for the big cities. Similarly, under local government we see gram panchayat at the village level, then at the block level we find panchayat samiti, and at the district we find jila parishad. So now these are the two local government. Okay, and it generally implies the decentralization policy of India. The important facts about decentralizations in India is that decentralizations generally uh, succeeded in providing a large number of local people participations in politics, and it also helped to solve large number of problems and issues which were best settled at the local level. Okay, so this is the main thing for decentralizations in India.